Hey everybody, we are back in Warcraft Rumble, and I want to say, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks. For those of you coming from like a game like Clash Royale, a lot of the stuff is going to be very similar, but it is different. So let's go and check out some stuff, okay? So tip number 1, okay, and I kind of mentioned this in the previous video that we did. Choose your talents very wisely, okay? That's tip number 1. Tip number 2. Okay, so for those of you who didn't watch the last video, you have a talent system. You're able to get X amount of talents, and so you want to choose your talents wisely, because going from uncommon to rare, it's gonna cost a lot of gold, right? Okay, so that's tip number 1. Choose your talents wisely. Tip number 2: don't go crazy with buying units. Okay, don't just start buying every unit, because you're not going to be able to level up the units effectively without spending a ton of money. Okay, so just in my opinion, you have the actually this is going to go into tip number 3. So tip number 3: do your daily quest and do your Arclight Surge quest. You'll be able to see the Arclight Surge when the zone is lit up with blue, kind of like a very light blue. And that's going to allow you to, there's different effects that happen with Arclight Surge, and you'll be able to get gold, but you'll also be able to test out new builds, test out new factions, okay? So in the beginning, don't worry about, this is tip number 3. Tip number 3 is don't worry about like what the optimal build is. Don't worry about what the optimal faction is. Choose something that maybe looks cool to you and that might be interesting for you. You'll notice that I have a bunch of like heroes unlocked. I was playing the game since the beta, but I mean, if I were to start new, I might choose a family, right? Like I might choose BlackRock, right? And a lot of BlackRock units, they synergize, right? With other things. So for example, when I refer to, just so you know, when I say tribal, I am referring to, like, let's say I'm building a tribal alliance deck, right? I might say something like that. That means that all of my units in the entire deck are alliance. I just want to let you guys know what that means. But like you'll notice like a lot of overlap, right? So Safe Pilot is a very, very good unit. It's an incredible unit. And you'll notice that I might have Safe Pilot in multiple decks, right? I might put Safe Pilot in my Tyrion deck. I might put Safe Pilot in my, Hellscream deck, right? So, in the beginning, don't worry too much, but just worry about maybe like focusing on maybe a specific play style or a specific build that you're going to use, right? But kind of going back to don't overbuy, basically. We're kind of going back to that. So, pick a faction that looks cool to you. If you like undead, I like undead. Choose undead, right? But also choose something that is going to, that you're gonna have fun with, right? And you'll be able to, as you kind of progress through the story, as you kind of progress through the Arclight Surge quest, and even your daily quests, you are going to find your playstyle. You're going to find the build that works for you. Okay. So my next tip is, speaking of the shop, don't buy like every daily offer. Okay, if any at all. You can play this game totally free. You can actually be very competitive in this game totally free. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it can be done. So don't like, just because you see a special offer, don't buy it. Okay. You're going to spend a lot of money very fast if you go that route, okay? The next tip that I want to give you, and this is a mistake that I made, do not rush the story, okay? So you want your units, you want your army, your entire army to be 1 to 2 levels above the zone that you're in, okay? So let me explain here in depth. Okay, I'm in the Plaguelands right now, okay? And so you'll notice that red 14, and 15 by everybody's name. That means that my particular army that I'm using right now might not do well with this. Now let's go to a higher level army. Let's go to like Sylvanas. Okay. She's level 16. You'll notice now that those are now green. Okay. So you want to be 1 to 2 levels above each zone. Okay. And to level up your units, you want to do your quest. So for example, this quest, let's just do it real quick, and then I'll give you guys some tips and tricks here. So this quest, don't worry if you fail. Don't worry if you lose. Don't worry if you die. Just refine your strategy. Okay. So this quest right here is going to give me 3x, XP, right? And quests are super easy. You can kind of plan your strategy. You can plan your strategy, ahead of time, and then you can click start. So that's my next tip: is don't just like pay attention to where you're placing your units, right? So, okay, so boom, he puts out that guy. I'm gonna put out a dude over here. Let's go ahead and maybe, there's environmental effects as well that happen. But, let's go and just, let's start playing the game. So, like, the objective of the game, like, is obviously to kill or destroy your other opponent's, base, while also, making sure that your base is protected, right? So, he's coming at me pretty hard, so I need to strategize about what's my plan here, okay? My plan is to probably pop out Sylvanas, and then that'll take out most of those units. And then, yeah, there we go. And then she's going to kind of do her thing in this middle lane here. I've captured a base here, a tower, and, he's got his, you want to control resources in this game, right? So, that's the name of the game, is controlling the resources. And your main resource, actually your only resource, really, is gold, right? And so, how much gold can you get? What can you do with the gold? Obviously, you can spend it on units, and those units are then going to, kind of progress you through the game. So I have control of a very good tower here, and I'm going to start, like the name of my game right now is put pressure on the opponent, and then also control the lanes. Put a little bit of pressure on the lanes, and make it to where his, you have like units that mine resources, making sure that he doesn't get to mine the units, if that makes any sense, or doesn't get to mine the resources, and then making it to where I get to mine the resources, if that makes any sense, right? So, I'm gonna put out my guy. I have pretty good control over the map right now, pretty good control over the lanes, if that makes any sense. So yeah, like I said, as you play, you're going to get better, and like I said, don't worry about PvP, don't worry about anything like that. So you'll notice now that you'll get XP for just playing, and then you'll get XP from claiming your quest, if that makes any sense. Okay. So boom, you get to claim that. My abomination now levels up, and then you'll notice I got 2 bars on my dailies, okay? And you'll notice that all kind of works and synergizes together. Okay, so we're going to kind of get into the nitty-gritty here in a little bit, so we're going to go and take a little break, and then we will get back into it. So those are my tips for beginners, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, okay?